Welcome to April's Garage. Tariffs are here to stay and everything's going crazy down, a huge downward trend. All the car companies and all the stock are having a really hard time right now.
It's been rough, but I'm good. I'm up because my whole millions, my family fortune is in Gamestop. All of it. All of it. It's up 6%. That's one stock, everything, all my investments right there.
Tell me you're a nerd without telling me you're a nerd.
GameStop, man. Yeah, absolutely.
I got GameStop.
Anyway, there's a lot of weird stuff going on with cars as a reaction to these tariffs. Because some are pausing deliveries altogether. So Jaguar and Land Rover, well, I say Jaguar, but they were just taking a year off anyway.
Right.
But Land Rover is just like, we're just not importing any more cars until this is all figured out, which is, that's a pretty major luxury automaker just saying, pause.
Well, I think they're just waiting to see what happens when the dust settles, I guess, and see if there's any pushback and any changes that happen. Or
some deals get made,
Right, it's possible that could happen.
Yeah, and Ineos, they had to raise their prices 10% on the Grenadier.
Ooh, that's a nice truck rod.
Yeah, they had to raise their prices. They're made in France, but it's a British company, sort of a Land Rover tribute.
Right.
And the trucks, they had to raise even more than that. They unveiled the truck, the Quartermaster, as well, which was already getting tariffed because of chicken tax, which goes back to Lyndon Johnson back in the 1960s. So there's been a car tax for that long.
What?
And it goes back to Germany and Europe and like post-World War II, and our frozen chicken getting sold to Europe getting tariffed.
Really?
And
you would know. He was a political science major in college, so no wonder you're spitting this kind of game.
It's very goofy because, we were selling chicken as an export, and Europeans were loving the cheap chicken.
Right.
And so the Europeans decided to put a tariff on this cheap chicken so that people would buy local chicken.
Oh.
And LBJ said, well, fine, we'll put a tariff on your cheap trucks.
Right.
Because at the time, Volkswagen was making some commercial trucks that are really cheap, and some other Europeans. And basically, that ended the European pickup truck being sold in the U.S. Everybody buys a Dodge or a Ford or a Toyota came in, obviously, because they're not subject to the chicken tax. But that's why we never got the Mercedes pickup truck, whatever they call it, the X-Class or something like that.
Oh, because of chickens.
Because of chickens.
This is fantastic.
Yes, we don't have any European pickup trucks here in the U.S. They're dealing with that, which is pretty wild. And Tesla, they make the most American vehicle as far as like the least amount of product coming from outside the U.S. So you'd think they would be okay. But in all this craziness, Cybertruck sales haven't been very good.
Sure.
And they just quietly, maybe we're not going to sell that range extender for the Cybertruck.
Yeah, I saw they just took that off of the website very quietly. Remove that. I think you had to put a deposit on it, right?
So that's the end of the promise. All the broken promises now with the Cybertruck, as far as the price point, as far as the range, because the range was made with this box that they would put in the bed that you would sacrifice, truck bed, extra batteries to keep going down the road, and you had to pay tens of thousands of dollars and sign up for it, and it was going to be put in at a later time, and nobody got it.
I guess that technology is harder to figure out, more expensive than it.
Or there was no demand for it. Yeah.
And there's no demand for it.
So they couldn't build it with scale or something. I don't know. So that was quietly just like,
swept under the rug, swept away. I guess it's like the Tesla Roadster that hasn't come out. I feel like that might get swept under the rug.
Well, that would be bad because people put like full price deposits down. They paid $200,000 for a car, and they've been waiting over 5 years for it, which is insane. Absolutely insane. There's like thousands of unsold Cybertrucks on lots, and Tesla is reportedly not taking used Cybertrucks in on trade anymore. Like they're saying no thanks to their own vehicles.
They're having a hard time reselling them?
There's some reports of people doing that, and the sky is absolutely falling on the prices. I talked about when I sold mine, I was thinking 30 or 40 grand by the end of the year. I was right, because you can go online wholesale and they are in the 60s. And you can buy, I sold mine for 110. Now it's like 67, 68, 111 or whatever.
Wild. I can't remember a car that's ever depreciated that much that quickly.
Plummeted, absolutely plummeted.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, the Lyriq has lost some value, maybe $10,000 in that same amount of time, but not $40,000.
Yeah, that's quite a lot.
So I traded in the Cybertruck for the Cadillac Lyriq. So Jaguar, good time to take a leap year, I guess,
Sure.
and Land Rover, yeah, canceling their orders. But also, Nissan is saying that they won't accept any additional orders of the QX50 and QX55 SUVs.
Right.
They're built in Mexico. So you're just gonna, we're just pausing. We're taking a break. And also Audi stopping the Q5 that is made in Mexico. They're just gonna pause it for now, which is a big car for them. Pretty insane.
Right, and it's all those workers too. Are they pausing their work? What happens to all them? So seeing a lot more layoffs coming. from
Right,
these
so
tariffs.
that's in Mexico factories. Then in the US, they're also canceling shifts. Nissan's doing it because of the components, obviously. Even though the Nissan's built in the US, they still have stuff outside of the US that needs to come in to put the cars together. So this summer, Nissan is like cutting a shift at the Rogue manufacturing plant.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, they were already struggling to sell cars, Nissan, so
Right.
this is just another thing to just make things worse for them. So now 2 shifts a day rather than running for 24 hours.
Do you feel like the market now is going to shift really strong into used cars, and those are going to become way more desirable?
Well, everything's going to become more expensive through all of this, and whether people just sit and wait, which people were doing with homes when the same thing happened with lumber prices and everything else, and
That's true.
and they waited, and then it became the new normal. But it's crazy to think because cars are already so darn expensive. It's
Right.
hard to imagine people paying or being able to pay more.
Sure.
So I don't get it. Like a Ford Maverick used to be $20,000 when they came out in 2020 or 2021. It was a crazy price point, like just under $20,000, like $19,995 for the base XL hybrid. That same truck is now $27,000.
Right. Which
For the exact same thing.
I do like the Maverick though.
But people were flipping them before they raised the prices for $10,000 or $15,000 more, and Ford's like, well, why can't I make that money
Sure.
and raise the price? Which, can you blame them? But now, like a base little Econo box truck is $27,000 instead of $20,000, which is a crazy increase.
I like Econobox. I feel like that's a nice segment in the truck industry.
Yes. So we haven't gotten word on Bugatti yet, whether they're going to raise the prices on the future Bugatti
They can't.
models.
They can't.
But they can. Why not?
They're
People will
already
pay.
unobtainable.
People will pay anything for the new tourbillon. So if it's
Which-
another 10 or 20%, then
How much are they right now? 5,000? I mean, 5 million.
I think they're $3.5 million. So it'd be another $700,000 on top of that if there's a 20% tariff. Ferrari has announced that they're raising some prices on the cars that people want. So they're not doing it on the Ferrari 296, the SF90, or the Roma, which are 3 cars that you buy and immediately lose $100,000 the moment you buy it. So of course they're not going to put tariffs on it because already people don't want to buy those cars. So yeah, the Roma is like the successor to the California, which we reviewed, and
What's wrong with the California? Yeah. What?
At the time, you were positive about it, but now
They're
you've gone back to your
fun.
negative
They're, like,
stance.
Entry level, like you can get into kind of that cool supercar world, and it's just like you're taking a step into it, and it's nice.
Mike Joy has one.
And Mike Joy has one, so they're fantastic cars. I love them.
You don't want to
Totally
make him cry.
recommend
He's
them.
his feelings will be hurt. He's already taken the hit on depreciation.
Right.
Yeah, the SF90, which is the crazy hybrid one that people are losing multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars on.
Sure.
And yeah, the 296, which is sort of the entry level V6. You know, like people want the V8. They want that. They want the
I
mid-engine
like how
V8. So they go back.
Just whispered it. People want the
They
V8.
obviously want the V8, so they're going back to the 458, the 488, the F8, which
Right.
was a great swan song. So yeah, all those Ferraris are more better.
I just think it's so hot. You know all this. What are the ones that are going up in price? 10% more.
All the special cars, so like the 12 Cylindri and the F80 and the Paris Wong way I'll never be able to pronounce it. The SUV Ferrari will definitely be more expensive.
Right.
So there you go. I'd buy a used Urus, I suppose, before I get a Paris car I can't pronounce.
Right. Well, we have Adam
Yes.
Farrar coming on later this week. We'll have to ask him. He's Italian.
Or a Bentley
He'll know how to pronounce
W12. Bentayga. Those are wonderful. The Cullinan has depreciated a lot too, which would be a really nice thing to buy. It's $250,000. I would not, but no, it's crazy, stupid.
I feel like there's
used.
multiple people in your head having conversations.
Yes,
at the
they're
same
fighting it
time.
out right now on which cars that I would buy. Yeah, so in this crazy market, if I were shopping for a car and I was shopping for something, I guess, fun, and I wasn't completely broke and buried in the hoopties that I have, honestly, I think if I were getting something like new, and as Nissan, as bad as things are going, the new Z,
Interesting. Okay.
it's mid-40s
Right.
for a sports car with a stick that looks cool. It doesn't seem like the worst thing in the world to buy compared to everything else these days. Or I've talked about the Civic Type R, where finding someone that would sell it for MSRP would be fun, because you get like that beautiful, buttery, smooth 6-speed manual Honda in a cool hatchback body. I could see that, but that's $47,000, so that's a lot for a Honda Civic. The Nissan Z, it's not that bad, or maybe a GTR, since they're kind of going out, getting like an unmodded, cool spec GTR. I feel like people are going to lust after those in a short period of time, and the values will kind of stay stable, maybe. And the upkeep won't be like a massive headache compared to some European exotic as it starts to age. So it's weird. I just said 2 Nissans.
Yeah, that is weird. I think I'd go with the Maverick, even though I'm probably going to lose, what, 10 grand out the door on a brand new car, but it's pretty normal for
You kind of did with your baby
cars.
Bronco. It was the same platform.
Totally did with my baby Bronco. But I feel like the Maverick's something I could have for the next 10, 12 years, and it would be fantastic. A great truck to get around, and I'm going Maverick.
Yeah, a little bitty truck will always be worth something, like this Dodge Dakota, which was, as you've seen in the last videos for a while, it's up on the lift and broken. There's a video coming on that soon as far as what has gone wrong. So, yeah, something to look forward to
But I feel like if I gave you a perfectly working truck, you wouldn't love me as much as you do.
No, it's awesome. This is fantastic. Yes, thank you very much. I'm actually really pleased you gave me a horribly broken truck. And it's not sarcasm at all.
Oh my gosh, thanks for watching.